This week, Demi Moore is on GMA, and she's telling us about her life like we've never heard it before. Today, she talks to Diane about her marriages to Bruce Willis and Ashton Kutcher.
Have you heard the mind-blowing secret that Demi Moore just let slip about Ashton Kutcher? Prepare to be stunned. Hollywood watchers everywhere are buzzing about these revelations because they completely change what we thought we knew about their once picture-perfect relationship. Where once there was glamour and fame, there is a shocking story that exposes hidden pain, betrayal, and intense emotional struggles. Wait until you discover the details behind Demi's heartbreak and see why the entire world can't stop talking. Demi's difficult roots and why they matter. Demi Moore did not begin life in the fairy tale setting that many assume comes with Hollywood stardom. Her early years were shaped by turmoil, confusion, and heartbreak. Born on November 11, 1962, Demi was raised by a mother and stepfather who moved from place to place, never allowing her the stability or comfort of a settled home. The man she grew up believing was her dad was actually not her biological father. This shocking revelation, discovered when she was only 13 years old, rattled her sense of identity. Imagine being a young teenager flipping through records, only to realize life was not what you thought it was. Such an unsettling surprise would shake anyone. For Demi, it added to a string of difficult experiences. Her household situation was far from peaceful. Her stepdad, Dan Gines, took his own life, leaving Demi wrestling with the aftermath of his tragic death. Meanwhile, Demi's mother, Virginia, battled her demons with repeated run-ins with the law and struggles linked to substance issues. That chaos only intensified Demi's longing for some semblance of security. Health challenges also knocked on her door at an early age. Demi had a condition called strabismus, commonly known as crossed eyes, and later underwent corrective procedures. She also dealt with kidney dysfunction. Coping with health hurdles in a home steeped in emotional tension meant she rarely felt at ease. By her mid-teens, Demi had left high school and moved into a world where she was trying desperately to break free from a family legacy of instability. That meant taking on small jobs, including a reception gig at 20th Century Fox, trying out modeling, and eventually stepping into acting lessons. Her drive to escape that chaotic background fueled her ambitions in Hollywood. Instead of letting those hardships hold her back, she clung to the hope that if she could just find the right path, her life could change for the better. This ambition mattered later when she met Ashton Kutcher. For someone raised in such turmoil, the promise of acceptance, love, and normalcy was incredibly appealing. When Demi Moore revealed just how vital those needs were in her relationships, particularly with Ashton, it underlined how her childhood shaped her decisions, for better or worse. The emotional scars she carried added complexity to her quest for a loving, reliable partner. People tend to see glamour, red carpets, and million-dollar movie contracts, but they forget about the deep layers bearing real pain underneath. Demi Moore's revelations shine a light on all the reasons her relationship with Ashton was both appealing and fraught with deep challenges. The unlikely romance with Ashton. When Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher first crossed paths around 2003, few people in Hollywood circles would have bet on them becoming a powerhouse couple. Demi was already an established star who had gone through a high-profile marriage and divorce with Bruce Willis, all while raising 3 daughters. Ashton was 15 years her junior, enjoying newfound fame as that charismatic prankster from TV. He was best known for That 70s Show and Punk'd, capitalizing on his easygoing charm. Their worlds seemed miles apart, yet sparks flew when they met at a simple dinner gathering. Demi unexpectedly found herself drawn to Ashton's energy and youthful perspective. She wasn't searching for anything in particular, but there was a certain magnetism between them. She would later confess that he appeared refreshingly different, someone who genuinely embraced her children as part of his life. This acceptance struck a chord in Demi, whose history of tumult left her longing for a stable, harmless environment. During those early days, the media was obsessed with their 14-year age gap. Many tabloids cruelly speculated that the relationship was a fleeting fling, or at best, a midlife crisis for Demi. Skeptics insisted that an older star and a young TV favorite couldn't possibly sustain anything substantial. But their public appearances told a different story. They exuded delight, often photographed holding hands and smiling like the happiest people in town. Through interviews, they portrayed an image of near-idyllic harmony. However, Demi has since revealed that behind the scenes, life wasn't always fairy tale-like. The intense spotlight, along with the pressures she put on herself, created cracks in their once glowing romance. Despite Ashton's easygoing aura, he was ambitious, rapidly expanding his career with film roles in romantic comedies, tech investments, and raucous productions like Punk'd. Meanwhile, Demi was trying to juggle. She wanted to uphold her star status, remain a supportive mother to her daughters, and invest in a relationship that gave her hope for lasting love. Hidden strains, losing a child, and losing herself. One of the most harrowing chapters Demi Moore has exposed about her relationship with Ashton Kutcher involves her miscarriage, which happened in 2006. At that time, she was pregnant with a daughter they intended to name Chaplain Ray. Losing that baby shook Demi to her core. She felt a grief so overwhelming that it sent her spiraling into a self-blaming cycle that later fueled her struggles with alcohol and prescription medication. Instead of reaching for help, she withdrew from those around her. That heartbreak inflicted deep trauma on her body and spirit. For a short while, she managed to maintain a public image of composure, but behind that facade, emotional devastation took hold. Whenever she saw families or expectant mothers, sorrow and guilt washed over her. This sense of being broken overshadowed her every move, made worse by suspicions that perhaps age or stress could have contributed to the miscarriage. Her anguish wasn't only for the loss of the child. She also grappled with feeling she had failed Ashton by not giving him a baby he might have wanted. Caught off guard by this tragedy, Ashton responded with a mixture of sympathy and frustration. On the one hand, he tried to comfort Demi. On the other, he might not have fully grasped the emotional load that weighed on her every day. That disconnect fostered even deeper emotional wounds. Demi's heartbreak spilled into her daily routine, fueling friction between them. But because they were in Hollywood's spotlight, they forced smiles in public, throwing themselves into red carpet appearances and big events to keep their star couple image intact. Feeling physically vulnerable, Demi plunged even deeper into substance misuse. Alcohol and Vicodin became her escape route, and the more she leaned on them, the more she drifted from Ashton. She has recounted turning to him for reassurance, often receiving a more distant, perplexed response. The cracks that formed during this period weren't easily patched over with fleeting romantic gestures or public declarations of affection. In looking back, Demi realizes that the miscarriage was a pivotal point. It did more than create a gulf between them. It stirred up all her old wounds, including her precarious self-esteem and unresolved pain from her childhood. The struggle to process such an immense loss set the stage for the revelations that would eventually come to light about Ashton's role in her life. This chapter underscores the tough reality that heartbreak, even in the most glamorous relationships, can lead to secrets, regrets, and raw disclosures that send shockwaves through fans and loved ones alike. Rumors and revelations, the infidelity scandals. While gossip has always been part of Hollywood, few celebrity couples were subjected to rumor storms as intense as Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. Demi's revelations have confirmed that some of those whispers were true, and more complicated than outsiders ever guessed. Reportedly, within a few years of marriage, Ashton was tied to rumors of hooking up with younger women. One notorious rumor surfaced when a woman named Brittany Jones claimed she had spent a night with Ashton while Demi was away. Another woman, Sarah Leal, later stepped forward, providing scandalous details of yet another alleged fling. These revelations felt like a gut punch to Demi. She was battling her own seas of grief and addiction, only to see headlines describing her husband's alleged affairs. The entire thing was made more humiliating by the timing. One reported fling supposedly happened on Ashton and Demi's wedding anniversary. Instead of a day of celebration, it became a wave of heartbreak and embarrassment splashed across every major magazine. This was not just petty gossip. It struck at the heart of Demi's insecurity and trust issues. In her candid admissions, Demi recalled confronting Ashton, who, by her account, didn't offer the comforting denial or apology she was seeking. Instead, he apparently blamed her for allowing openness within their marriage, suggesting that gray areas in commitment might have paved the way for his infidelity. In a moment that felt nothing short of betrayal, Demi realized that the man she leaned on for stability might have been pulling away all along. From Ashton's perspective, based on scattered public statements, there was either total denial or strategic silence. He rarely came forward to give a thorough explanation of what was happening. Perhaps he felt cornered by the tabloid feeding frenzy, or maybe in his mind, the simplest way to handle the situation was not to engage. No matter the reasoning, Demi ended up feeling alone, unprotected, and misunderstood. The divorce and its aftermath, a crash landing. By 2011, the cracks in Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher's marriage had grown into gaping canyons. Between the grief of losing a child, the spotlight's constant glare, Ashton's rumored infidelities, and the unspoken tensions, it was only a matter of time before their relationship reached a breaking point. In November of that year, Demi announced her decision to end the marriage. The divorce was finalized in 2013, officially closing the door on a union that once captivated the world. If hope still lingered that the relationship might be salvaged, it vanished when the floodgates of public scrutiny tore it apart. Demi's emotional unraveling caught public attention soon after the split. She was hospitalized following a seizure at a party in 2012, a health crisis that highlighted the toll this collapse had taken on her well-being. While tabloids had a field day painting her as unstable, the cold truth was that she was suffering from heartbreak, substance misuse, and chronic stress. Every detail of her personal struggles became clickbait for gossip sites. For Ashton, the path forward looked quite different. As the separation played out, he found comfort with Mila Kunis, a former co-star from That 70s Show. The media quickly turned its lens to Ashton's fresh romance, reporting on how easy and lighthearted it seemed. Many labeled his new relationship an upgrade, a term that, while harsh, revealed much about how public perception can shift overnight. In a blink, Ashton rebranded himself as a lucky guy in a blossoming relationship, offsetting the negativity surrounding his divorce. Demi, on the other hand, was left to reassemble her life. Once certain the union was beyond repair, she poured energy into therapy, introspection, and focusing on her children. She admitted that the layers of her heartbreak went far beyond just the separation. The dissolution of her marriage forced her to confront old wounds, her unstable childhood, her parents' struggles, and her sense of unworthiness. Despite a career in which she had earned recognition and power, she now realized she had never fully shed the ghosts of her past. Although Demi's professional roles became less frequent, the lessons she gleaned from the breakdown allowed her to shift her attention towards self-care and personal renewal. Rather than dwell forever on betrayal and sadness, she embraced healing. By the time she started speaking out more, including releasing her memoir, she was motivated by a willingness to lay bare the truth so that others could understand how thin the line is between a glamorous Hollywood existence and a devastating emotional meltdown. Her divorce from Ashton may have concluded a stormy chapter, but it also allowed her the space to grow into a stronger version of herself. Rebuilding, revealing, and learning to thrive. Demi Moore's story did not end with heartbreak and humiliation. In fact, she used those painful circumstances to spark a period of growth and renewal. After finalizing her divorce from Ashton, she chose to confront painful memories. Therapists, spiritual guides, and supportive friends helped her see that the patterns haunting her relationship with Ashton had deeper roots in her troubled youth. She finally realized that part of her need for Ashton's love came from a longing to fix the chaos she had endured growing up. With time, Demi gained the courage to speak in detail about her relationship's highs and lows. The revelations she made have indeed been shocking to fans who only saw a perfect, glitzy couple in photos. But when Demi laid out how betrayal, loss, and secrets chipped away at her marriage, it showed everyone how Hollywood illusions can mask deep cracks. By opening up, she not only told her side of events, but also revealed her own failures and vulnerabilities. Her memoir, Inside Out, made waves because it did more than point fingers at Ashton. Demi also took responsibility for her part in the marriage's downfall. She confessed that her insecurities, her inability to process grief, and her dependence on substances were factors that made everything worse. This raw honesty was refreshing and heartbreaking at the same time. While readers were stunned by details of Ashton's alleged cheating and questionable behavior, they were equally moved by Demi's emotional struggles. Many felt sympathy, believing she had never quite escaped the shadows of her upbringing. Meanwhile, Ashton has largely remained tight-lipped about many of Demi's revelations. He's focused on building a new life with Mila Kunis, starting a family, and expanding his career from actor to investor and entrepreneur. By all external measures, he has turned the page in his personal story. But whenever Demi brings up a piece of her past with him, it ripples through social media and entertainment news, showing that their relationship is still a topic fans are deeply invested in.
The surprising divorce. In May 2023, Kevin Costner was caught off guard when his former wife, Christine Baumgartner, filed for a divorce. The divorce, which was filed just 5 months away from their 19th wedding anniversary, came as a big shock to Kevin because everything seemed fine.
Well, as if Kevin Costner leaving Yellowstone wasn't a big enough shock for him and all of his fans.
In fact, Kevin was on location in Utah, far from their home in California, where he was busy with the filming of the hit series, Yellowstone, when he got the news of the divorce. While there has been no clear explanation from both parties on why Christine Baumgartner was filing for a divorce, Christine briefly cited in the divorce filing that she was doing so due to irreconcilable differences. However, sources claim that 49-year-old Christine was unhappy in their marriage. Her unhappiness may be linked to Kevin's busy schedules and unavailability, especially in recent years due to his large involvement in the TV hit series Yellowstone. Before you judge Kevin Costner, see how things turned out in the most unexpected way. Kevin, being a major character in the series, had spent a significant amount of his time on set, especially in 2023 and on other acting projects. Apparently, Christine wanted him to start spending more time with her and the kids. She probably expressed her plight a whole lot of times but never got him to yield. His burning passion certainly got the best of him that he didn't notice the weakening foundations of his marriage until tired Christine filed for a divorce. When news about their divorce got out, everyone was shocked. The sudden turn of events in the couple's life got fans and the media community talking, once again bringing attention to the constant failed marriages seen in the entertainment industry. It was all speculation and gossip until a representative of Kevin Costner released a joint statement confirming that the couple's marital story was coming to a sudden end. In the statement, he expressed how it was saddening that circumstances beyond Costner's control have transpired, which have resulted in him having to participate in a dissolution of marriage action. He added that they were asking that Costner's, Christine's, and their children's privacy be respected as they go through such a difficult time, even in the midst of their legal tension. Kevin Costner and estranged wife Christine Baumgartner both made it clear to the public that their main focus was on the custody and support for their 3 kids, Caden, aged 15, Hayes, aged 14, and only daughter Grace, aged 12. This seemed like a peaceful cooperation between the two despite the divorce, until Christine did something surprising. After filing for a divorce, Christine still refused to leave her marital home and continued to occupy the residence. According to their premarital agreement, however, she had 30 days to leave the house owned by Kevin Costner after filing for divorce. But Christine went against the agreement and remained in the residence after over a month of filing a divorce. She threatened to not leave the property until a proper child support had been put into order and accused Costner of being an inconsiderate father. Anyway, Costner made a request to the court asking that Christine be blocked from occupying his personal properties as they had agreed in their prenup. Christine was ordered by the judge to evacuate the residence by 31st of July. By the time Christine had evacuated Costner's home, she filed a petition on her filing of the 1st of May, requesting joint custody of the 3 children. The next day, Costner responded in agreement, requesting joint custody of the kids. They expressed that they didn't mind co-parenting, despite what had unfolded between them. What about child support for the children? Are they going to reach a peaceful agreement? Keep watching to find out. Christine Baumgartner had originally requested a whopping sum of $250,000 for child support. but the court turned it down and temporarily fixed it at $129,000 as of June 2023, leaving Costner stunned and Christine feeling victorious at the end of the day. Regardless of being granted a large settlement, Christine took a greedy step, demanding for an increase in the present $129,000. To the surprise of everyone, especially Costner, she requested an additional sum of $32,000. Her request filing, which did not include a request for spousal maintenance, was channeled in proving Costner's capability and the standard of living she wanted the children to continue with. She claimed Costner's 2022 income was over $19 million, and their family's expenses, excluding taxes, was $6,645,285. In addition to her claims, the family's net income after expenses and taxes was excluded was estimated at over $7 million. She also cited other expenses such as regular travel to the Caribbean, Hawaii, and Aspen, as well as regular hosting of guests, which required caterers. Baumgartner claimed in the filing that her financial demand is less than the amount needed to maintain the children in their accustomed lifestyle, and requested that Costner pay 100% of private school tuition, extracurricular activities or sports, and healthcare expenses for their 3 children.
I can describe them all based on one event. I had like a 3-year-old girl, 4-year-old boy, a 6-year-old boy, and they're going to get their flu shot. And my 6-year-old boy is a brave boy. He's tough.
Caden, Hayes, and Grace. The events which took place afterwards will leave you speechless. Rising court battles. Proceedings up for the hearing requested by Christine's team for the $161,000 per month was held in Santa Barbara Court, California, where they both resided. Kevin Costner hired Laura Wasser, the celebrity divorce attorney who recently represented Kim Kardashian in her divorce from her husband Ye. On the other hand, Christine was represented by renowned divorce attorney John Rydell, known for specializing in high-profile cases, such as the current case with Kevin Costner. On that day, the courtroom was extremely tense. The rising dispute between both parties concerning child support was already making headlines. The main contention was the excessive child support Baumgartner was seeking for their 3 children. Asking for an additional $32,000 to her present $129,000 per month settlement temporarily fixed in June 2023 was something nobody ever saw coming. The hearing began with Christine's perspective. She contended that the new property she moved into after leaving Costner's luxurious apartment, which costs $40,000 per month, was not on the same level as Costner's $73 million beachfront residence. Crying, Christine expressed frustration that their new property lacked an ocean view as in Costner's residence. She complained the quality of life in their new home didn't compare to their old marital residence. Confidently, she adjusted her glasses while making the argument that the children should spend time with her in a beachside home costing $150,000 per month, a property she planned to rent after her 6-month lease ended. She said Costner's living expenses were up to $240,000 per month, and so he should be able to cover the demands. However, forensic accountant Tracy Katz noted that a significant portion of the costs she claimed to be Costner's expenses were actually hers. Katz shared a breakdown of the said $240,000 monthly expenses, which revealed that Christine spent an average of $18,000 per month on designer clothing and more than $3,000 per month on beauty products and treatments. On top of the substantial child support obligations, Baumgartner's group closed with a demand for Costner to also cover an estimated legal fee exceeding $800,000, after which Laura Wasser, the attorney for Kevin Costner, started their own hearing. She started by making a brief statement. She stated that Christine had made unreasonable money requests and dismissed the idea that the Costner kids care about ocean views or the things that happen in their father's Aspen ranch in their absence. Wasser informed the court that the Costner family does not lead a luxurious lifestyle.
And then we have to go do our jobs, and then we have to go get our kids at school, and then we have to go do something. But the movies have always been a place for us.
Typically associated with movie stars. He mentioned that the children do not wear designer clothes, drive expensive cars, and go to regular public schools. She informed the court that Costner no longer possesses his own personal aircraft and remarked that she has never ever encountered a child support claim of that magnitude, even in Los Angeles. Wasser and Costner also accused Christine of wanting to rely on child support payments for expenses even after receiving a $1.5 million payout upon divorce, as outlined in their prenuptial agreement. The attorney referred to Baumgartner's criticized new house as being amazing. She noted features in it similar to her former home. It included amenities such as a jacuzzi, which Costner's residence lacks. At the end, Wasser labeled Baumgartner's demands as outrageous and mentioned that a second trial will take place regarding the prenuptial agreement and her plea for spousal support. The second hearing revealed things we never expected. Second day of court battle. On the second day of hearing, Kevin Costner arrived in a fancy navy blue suit, looking professional and composed as usual. On the other side, Christine Baumgartner arrived with her legal team dressed in a classic black outfit and maintained a strong composure dot. In the courtroom, Kevin Costner expressed his dissatisfaction with the recent court order of $129,000. He conveyed his concern that the child support amount exceeded the reasonable needs of the children and was more of what Christine needed. In a sense, he'd indirectly be providing spousal support for Christine. He stated that the high financial demands could also deplete his funds rapidly, potentially leading him to accept jobs he did not want to accept and work longer hours than he desires. He added that he was facing challenges with his income due to a fallout from Yellowstone and a disappointing yield from his major film project Horizon, and so his future earnings might be unable to meet Christine's high demands. Also, he mentioned the risk of losing his properties in Aspen and California, which he had worked hard to build as havens for himself, his family, and friends. At last, the judge ruling the case, Thomas P. Anderley, considered both sides, particularly Costner's situation, and came to a final verdict. The child support earlier fixed at $129,000 per month was greatly slashed to $63,000 per month. Judge Anderley stated in a press release that Christine's demands were excessive and more than what the children would realistically require. The ruling brought the intense battle to a stop, leaving Costner victorious. However, Costner in an interview said they were no winners and claimed he still had love for his ex-wife Christine. If he still loved her, how did their marriage turn so sour? Their previous court battle in November raised new information that got everyone talking. Pay attention, because this information could give you an insight to what really brought the 19 years marriage to an abrupt end. So during the court battle, it became public that while Kevin Costner was in and out of town, Christine Baumgartner got entangled in an emotional relationship with their former next-door neighbor, who also is a friend to Kevin. The man had also recently divorced his wife. Apparently, Kevin Costner wasn't the only one burnt up in some passion. Kevin accused her of having an affair with the rich financier who we now know as Josh Connor. Christine, however, denied the accusations of having an affair with the man, saying Connor was a family friend, and their relationship was strictly platonic, and Connor was just an emotional support, being a divorced father. According to sources, even in the midst of their divorce proceedings, Christine had gone on an expensive vacation with the so-called family friend in July 2023. They were spotted at a beach in Hawaii, having a good time under the sun. Christine was seen in a purple dress and dark sunglasses walking right beside Connor, who was shirtless in a pair of shorts. They certainly looked like they were enjoying each other's company. Well, evidence countering their claims were sourced out, stating Christine had received $20,000 from Josh Connor. Christine's attorney, John Rydell, countered this by saying Connor lent Christine the money because she confided in him about her financial situation due to the divorce. She also added that Christine wasn't alone with Connor at Hawaii, but they were with the children and some friends. Even after their divorce was finalized, Christine and Connor were spotted outside being all lovey-dovey. A close friend of Christine says Josh was initially just a friend, and Christine liked hanging out with him. She added that he is a divorced dad and understands what she's going through. They both love the ocean and beach life, and it is something that makes Christine happy. Meanwhile, Costner is said to be dissatisfied and filled with bitterness due to the pair's relationship. A source told the National Enquirer that Kevin is extremely unhappy and resentful seeing Christine and Josh looking so happy and making plans for their future together.
Kevin Costner and his wife Christine going their separate ways after 18 years of marriage.
You don't know what people are going to feel.
A rep for the actor confirms the split in a statement, telling ET that due to circumstances beyond his control, Christine's dissolution of marriage filing is moving forward.
Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner's marriage ended. Ultimately, Baumgartner filed the divorce paperwork.
Kevin Costner's wife has just lost her place in his life. With months of silence after a very public and messy breakup, Christine Baumgartner, Kevin's now ex-wife, has made many eye-opening statements with surprising details about their marriage and divorce. Not only did she open up about the real problems that led to the end of their marriage, she also let the world know how she's faring as a new divorcee.
Christine Baumgartner have gone their separate ways after 18 years of marriage.
What exactly did she say, and what else has happened to her? Join us as we reveal the reasons behind their divorce and what has just happened to Christine Baumgartner, the start of the ex-couple's romance. After Kevin Costner ended his first marriage to Cindy, he went through a lot of different experiences in the dating world. Eventually, he found love again with Christine Baumgartner, who is a model and handbag designer. They started dating in 1998, and after being together for 6 years,
Kevin Costner is getting back into the dating scene. The 69-year-old actor recently bragged about knowing how to meet women.
They decided to get married, but little did they know they would end up parting ways like Kevin did with Cindy. Just a couple of years after their wedding, they welcomed their first child, Caden Wyatt, in February 2007. This happy moment was soon followed by the birth of their second son, Hayes Logan, in February 2009, and then their daughter, Grace Avery, who came along in June 2016. Now, Kevin's family includes not only his kids with Christine, but also his 4 older children from previous relationships, Annie, Lily, Joe, and Liam. While sparks were still flying between the ex-couple, in interviews, Kevin often shared how much he appreciates Christine and how they built a lively and loving home together. In fact, in November 2 years ago, he shared his heartfelt feelings about Christine in a statement to the media, saying that his wife did things that made a huge difference in their lives. He mentioned that she made their home more beautiful and warm. He believed that her little actions were a reflection of love and that she had a special way of making their home feel inviting. This showed how strong their bond was and how much he appreciated having her by his side. But their seemingly perfect family life suddenly had one unexpected problem.
Kevin Costner is getting candid about the difficulties he's faced amid his recent divorce and his work life.
In early May last year, a spokesperson for the actor known for Field of Dreams confirmed to the media that he and Baumgartner were going their separate ways after she filed for divorce.
Kevin Costner is breaking his silence amid his divorce from Christine Baumgartner.
This news surprised many fans who admired their relationship. Although the exact date of their split wasn't immediately made public, later court documents indicated that Baumgartner had stated they separated on April 11th. In her divorce filing, she mentioned that they had irreconcilable differences as the reason for their breakup. But how bad were these differences that they had to resort to a divorce? Demi's revelations are shocking, partly because they remind us that real life doesn't always align with the glossy narratives we see on television. Celebrities may appear picture perfect, but they have real problems, real heartbreak, and real regrets. Her willingness to share these details not only gave her closure, but also offers encouragement to anyone who has felt powerless in a relationship. She is a prime example of how one can hold a mirror up to painful issues, confront them, and find a sense of peace and identity on the other side.